we needed your assistance. He's not like the technical assistant that tells you it's not part of the program. You tell him anything throughout the year, even during the middle of the year, he'll say, okay, let's see what we can do. That's the difference. We've worked with others before. They'll tell you, no, you didn't. Why didn't you raise it? 2 years ago, we would have made it part of our 5-year development program. So we can't do much. Wait until the 5 years have passed. He doesn't do that. He helps you as your needs arise, even from the community. That's why I'm saying he's a hands-on man. He's not like the type of white-collared workers like me and you who are behind our desks. He really goes out there in the environment and knows. He's speaking from His Excellency. He's really practical. He's a practical person. And that's why, very pragmatic, and we want to commend you for that. I will miss you for sure. In the area of women's affairs, the same thing I told you, the telefood programs, most of the beneficiaries are female. Even we, directly, our ministry has benefited. Yes, they have benefited, sir, in a lot of areas. And recently, the Women's Week, I just approached him in one of our, you remember, in one of our food security meetings, and I told him about our need to assist the women, because we need to give back something during the Women's Week rather than just celebrating, clapping and singing. No. We want to have something practical. And he helped us with 9 vegetable garden projects. Marietta, you can attest to that fact. Just for this year. And resource-based, we came up with this resource-based management with PMO. We thought that it would be selfish for only the OVP to benefit and its sectors. Why don't we expand it so that the whole of government, because it's a new innovation where we need to get capacity in how to manage our resources as well. And resource-based management and planning and training on that. And he was willing to give us the resources to do that. And we extended to all the planning units, working through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, and of course MDI and all the other key players. And we are getting resource persons from Ghana, thanks to his assistance as well. Very practical. And they are being recruited now for this exercise. Of course, Your Excellency, whilst we had the food safety and security, you remember during the disaster, NDMA definitely benefited. I remember when we had the Food Security Council meetings, the Disaster Management Council meetings, because we've put them together as one at that time. And he helped us address issues of prevention and resilience relating to hotspots. You remember the hotspots 13 that we identified? And later we worked on the 8 hotspots. He assisted us to do that resilience exercise. And food supplies for disaster victims. He complemented our efforts in that area. Vaccination of cattle, you remember the bovine flu, yeah? The CBBP disease. And you already said it. You said practically he himself vaccinated some of those. I remember the time was short. We were really in a dire strait. It was difficult at the time. And we appealed to him. And immediately the mission came from Rome. But not only that, practically he got us some vaccines as well. We looked at Ethiopia, we looked at, you remember, our neighbors and so on, and finally we got some. So we should thank you for that. Definitely, you've been very helpful. The capacity building of NDM, I remember you gave us equipment, but you helped us in capacity building at the time. Of course, agricultural inputs to farmers, you know that, horticulture. So many, in fact, we have more seeds than we need, thanks to his assistance, a lot of inputs, fertilizer, seeds, whatever we needed at the time. So it went directly to the farmers. And we should thank you for that. So really, the list goes on. It's limitless. I cannot reiterate everything you have done for us. But only God would definitely pay you back. And I know God will. We would miss you. You're going to Namibia, but Namibia is still Africa. And you know His Excellency the President is a Pan-Africanist. So if you're in Namibia, once you serve Africa, he's with you. Again, my colleague has said you are an ambassador of the Gambia, wherever you're going to be. So remember that. And please, once in a while, when you're on holiday, don't go to Nigeria. Come here. This is your second home. Come and visit us. But only pass through Nigeria and come back and see His Excellency, consult with him on issues. Because he still regards you as a consultant. Because of the output. So once again, we say thank you and may God bless you. On behalf of His Excellency, the President and the Government. Thank you.
Now with your permission, Vice President, it's about time we invited our guest who is on leave but took the trouble to come and bid farewell to this distinguished son of Africa. As I was wondering, I said, I wish we had more Africans like Dr. Ahmadu in the international system so we could leverage on some of these things. For my president, I'm impressed he's here, but I'm not surprised because I know of his many qualities. The one that I want to emulate most is gratitude and appreciation. Now the energy, I will not attempt it because I know my limitations. So Excellency, with the permission of the Vice President, since you are on leave, we are most pleased and honored to have you address this very auspicious occasion of the departure of brother and friend.
Your Excellency, the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs, Secretary General, Your Excellency, my dear brother and friend, and a true friend of the Gambia, and a true African, Dr. Baba Gane Ahmedou. These honorable ministers, deputy rep, my sister, cousin, these are some of the ceremonies I would have loved to avoid and be absent. Saying farewell to somebody that has become a household name in not only urban Gambia, but in rural Gambia. You know, his performance and his commitment and dedication to duty is unprecedented as an FAO resident rep. During the tour, you know, I always, people just rush to me and say, and then before the secretary would realize, somebody would just be talking to me. There was this lady, she thought that his name is, no, they can't say FAO, they say FAO. It said, no, it said FAO. So it was the deputy commissioner, you know, she's talking about FAO resident rep. I said, no, his name is not FAO. He said, Baba Gana. And I said, yes. I will tell you a small story. When your predecessor was leaving, and another true friend of the Gambia and a true Pan-Africanist is Dr. Shak Juf. And he knows my commitment to agriculture. And when the other one was leaving, he told me, well, he is leaving. I said, okay, I'm not worried about him leaving. I'm worried about his replacement. Send me somebody who has agriculture in his blood. Don't send me an expert who specializes in sitting in offices. Send me somebody who has agriculture in his blood. And he said, Mr. President, I am a FAO Director General, but what do you mean by agriculture in his blood? I told him, somebody who cannot sit in the office. If you have agriculture in your blood, there is no way you can sit for 1 week in an office and be comfortable. Because what you need here is not somebody who sits in an office, but somebody who will be going out to the field. He said, okay, I will get you somebody. Then he came to the Gambia and told me, I got you a good one. I said, from where? Because I always tell him which areas of the regions of the world I would accept an FAO resident rep. Then he laughed. He said, from West Africa. I became concerned. He said, West Africa? He said, yes. I said, did you say West Africa? He said, yes. Then he said, Mr. President, but remember also I'm a West African. I said, no, there's an exception. That you are an exception. But did you say West Africa? He said, yes. I said, where? He said, Nigeria. He said, Nigeria? I said, well, if he's a young man, I would not accept him. Because that would be a book represented, a specialist specializing in theory. But if he's an older man, I remember those days when we look at pictures of granite pyramids in Nigeria, I would accept it.